MrBeatCoder here. Today in our Java Basics lesson, we're going to learn how to use for loops with conditional statements such as if and else. So for example, if we have an array that we created in our previous lesson, this my array, and then we iterate it, and it's going to print out, say, every number in the array. So sometimes we only want to print out the even numbers in the array, so that's when we use an if condition. And then we can also apply further an else condition, that if this applies or else, then we do something else. It could be anything, could be printing some string or whatever. So we will learn how to do this team together. So I've created a new Java Basics 3 so we could have a new fresh class to play with, and let's copy this array that we've already created and start team. So I'm just going to make a comment. So we're going to create a for loop with if else if condition first. Let's start with if condition. So let's first declare our array. So let's use the same array name, my array. So now, for example, say if we want to print out the even numbers of this array. So let's actually write a for loop first for this. So we've done this before. So let's practice again. So for int, actually it's given it the prompt, so we're going to iterate from I equals 0 to the size of our array. It's going to increment 1 every time, and then we're going to inside put our code. So we're going to print out system.array. so here we go. So this will print out all our array, right? Let's run it to show you as an example. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this time we have a new requirement, right? We want to only print out the even numbers in our array. So we can do that. So we can use the same for loop. So we just need to add an if condition. So in here, so inside we write if, see, if my array, it's given us already, but we need to change this. If my array, for each index, we're going to use this remainder operator. If it's divisible by 2 equals 0. So this basically means that if each number is divided by 2 and it's 0, that means it's an even number. So 2 over 2, there's no remainder, 0, so it will enter this if condition. But 3, if you divide by 2, there's 1 remaining, so it won't go into this if condition. So once it goes into our if condition, what we want to do, we want to print it out, right? So in here we actually create another squiggly brackets. There we go. So make it more clear. So basically, in this array we're iterating over it, and if each index is divisible by 2, even number, then go in this loop and then print it. For anything else, just leave it. It won't go into this loop. So let's run it and see the magic team. See, this time 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So it's printed the even numbers out of my array. That's pretty cool, right, team? So just to reiterate, this if condition array, my array index I, remainder operator 2 equal signs to 0, means only get the value when index is divided by 2 and the remainder equals 0. And then if it applies, then go into that if condition and then print out that indexation. So that's why it's only printed out the even numbers in our array. So now let's add an else condition. So let's say for anything else that are not even numbers, we can put after the if condition else, and we can put anything we want, team. So let's make it simple. So if it's not an even number, grab that index and we're gonna add a string. So I'll write it first and I'll explain it to you. So is not a multiple of 2. Go. My array I, yep. Actually, there's an error. I just realized there's a syntax issue, so sorry about that. But it's okay. When we make mistakes, that's where we learn. So let me correct it. So the else condition, we need to, after we put in else, the keyword, we open up the squiggly brackets. So basically, if it follows this condition, then it goes into this loop and does whatever. Or else, let's remove that. Else it goes into this loop, and then it goes into the squiggly brackets, whatever code we want to execute. So then let's print out this. I'll explain it to you, team. So print ln here, then close it. Awesome. See, now no more errors. So basically what we're trying to say is that in this array we're going to iterate through it, and if it's even, go into this and print out the index. Or else, if it's not even, basically odd, so now say number 1, go into here and then print out, execute this code. So print out the index and then plus, we're going to use a concatenation because we're going to add a string to it. So plus, and then type input is not a multiple of 2. So basically, for example, if the 1 is the element, it'll be 1 is not an element of 2. So that's what we're trying to do here. So let's save it and then run our code. Excellent. See what it's done? So 1 is not an even number. It's not multiplied by 2. That it won't get a remainder of 0. So it's printed. It's gone into this if, and the same as 3. Only thing is that I wanted to point out, there's no space between 1 and is. So we also have to give that spacing. So if we put it in here, spacing, and then rerun, save and rerun. Excellent. So it's more clear. So 1, and we add that space, and then it concatenates, so combines to a string. So 1 is not a multiple of 2, and it repeats. So that's how we can use the if-else condition, team. So it's a good little function to use for different problems that we have. One more concept, so which is another conditional statement break. So sometimes if we want to break out of the loop, exit out of the loop, we can use that conditional statement break. So for example, let's put the break in the if condition. So we're going to break here. So what this means is that when we use this break keyword, it's going to exit the loop. So what will happen in here is that, so first they'll iterate, go into here for number 1. It's going to see if it applies to this condition. So it's not an even number, so it skips this and it goes into the else, and then it prints it, so 1, and then whatever the string, so which is this line. So then it loops again in the for loop. So this time it's number 2, and it goes in the if condition to see if it satisfies this condition. So 2 divided by 2 is 0, so it is an even number. So it goes in, prints out 2, and now it'll break. So it won't keep going for the rest of the iteration. So basically it will just exit after 2 and then print these 2 in the output. So that's how it works, the break. So it's a very useful little tool. So let's save it and then run it and see how it goes. You see, that's exactly what I was just trying to say. First time, index 1 goes into the for loop. See if it matches this condition. It's not, it's an odd number, so it doesn't execute this code, goes to the else, and it prints out this 1 is not a multiple of 2. So second time around, its index is, the value is 2, goes in, it is an even number, goes into the if condition, executes, prints out to 2, and then straight away it breaks out of the loop, so it won't keep going into the for loop. So it's basically stopped, exited out of the loop. So it's a handy little tool. So we have some problems that we want to resolve either with automation or mathematical problems, we can use this break. So yeah, we'll use these examples more in our automation lessons. So these are just going through the basics of Java, all these amazing tools that we can use to help solve our problems. So let's stop here, team. In our next lesson, we're going to learn about array lists and the differences between array list and arrays. So thanks for your time. MrBeatCoder out.